Okay, let us do a quick recap of auditor's report. Then we move on to chapter number 4, which is risk assessment and internal control. Now, talking about auditor's report, I told you that basically there are standards which are involved. Okay, since there are standards which are involved, so we need to know the standards. It is SA 700, 705, 706, 701 and 710. So basically there are 5 standards which deals with auditor's report. Now when you talk about SA 700, it is to give an opinion. 705 is to modify 55. Thereafter 706 is on 2 paras, 6 let. Okay, 2 paras. 701 is on key audit matters, KM, and 710 is still left, which is on comparative information, that we'll see later. Now when you people talk about auditor's report, basically it is of 2 types. One is unmodified, other is modified. When you talk about unmodified is clean report. When you talk about modified, which is covered by 705, there are 3 types: adverse, which is negative, qualified report, and a disclaimer of opinion. Now when you give adverse report or a qualified report, you'll have to give the reasons why did you give such a report. It is required under section 143(4). Also, when do you issue a modified opinion? Modified opinion is issued under 2 situations. Basically I'm talking about modified. Modified means adverse, qualified, or disclaimer, either of this. Okay, basically modified is given under 2 situations. One, when you have say and there are material misstatements. Second, when there is no say. Always remember, to give an opinion, what I require is nothing but say. So can I say, when you people talk about audit opinion, it depends on say. Now either say will be obtained or say will not be obtained. If say is obtained, then what you have to check is the effects on uncorrected misstatements. Uncorrected means I told to the management to correct them, but they did not correct it. So there are uncorrected misstatements. Obviously now you'll have to check how much they are. So you'll have to check the effect of materiality. Either their accumulation is immaterial or it is material. If it is immaterial, then obviously you give a clean report because it is hardly there. But if accumulation is material, wait, check further. How much is it? Is it affecting the financial statements in a major way, or it is not affecting the financial statements in a major way? In a major way, if it is affecting, it is known as pervasive. If it is not affecting, it is not pervasive. So if that uncorrected misstatements are material and pervasive, then adverse. If it is material but not pervasive, then qualified. On the other hand, when say is not obtained, what you check is not the effects. What you check is the possible effects. Possible effects of what? Possible effects of undetected misstatements. Why I say undetected? Because you have not detected only. If you people appreciate you don't have say only, then how can you detect? No. So ultimately it is undetected misstatements. So you will have to think yourself now, what will it be? Okay. Now that is a problem when you think, but then it's okay. They are only asking you to think. So now you have to think. Okay. Now obviously there are 2 options. Whatever the misstatements you have not detected, you people may think that possibly it can be material and pervasive, or it can be material but not pervasive. If it is material but not pervasive, qualified. Always remember, whenever it is material but not pervasive, it is always qualified. Acha, then material and pervasive. Disclaimer of opinion. Perfect. Is this okay? Okay. So qualified was issued under how many situations? Qualified, check. 2 situations. Correct. On the other hand, modified, if you check, when say is not obtained and when there are material misstatements. Okay. Thereafter, we people did this basic elements in the auditor's report. I gave you, it was nice. Yeah. Huh. Come on, tell me, go to park and be mad. Come on, tell me one by one in line. It's okay. Don't tell me in the key line, but tell me here one by one. Come on. First is title. By the way, these basic elements I have given. No. These basic elements are given by SA 700. Okay. Come on. First is title. Next, addressee. Next, opinion. Next, basis for opinion. Next, going concern. Next, key audit matters. Next, management's responsibility for financial statements. Next, auditor's responsibility. Next, other reporting responsibilities. Next, signature, date of signature, place of signature. Acha, signature, if individual is there, he himself will sign. No. Acha, partner, engagement partner in a firm. Correct. Acha. Only signature is okay. No. No. They have to write membership number also. Oh, acha. They have to write some firm registration number also. Oh, acha. A partner signs only in his individual capacity or also on behalf of the firm? Also on behalf of the firm. Not bad. Acha. Thereafter, ultimately, if you remember, 2 paras, 706. I hope these are additional or optional paragraphs. If the auditor wants, he may have. If the auditor wants, he may not have. I hope realize the basic objective of these paragraphs is to bring transparency in audit. You just want to give more information to the shareholders about what is happening in an audit. So ultimately, if the auditor so wants, he may add. If he not, then he may not add. Now, two paras are, one is E para, another is para. So nice. And you were telling, huh? Come on. What about para? If there is any matter which is correct affecting the financial statements, but it does not have an impact on the opinion, still you want to tell it to the shareholders, then you include a para, which is known as E para. Then what is the only difference in ohm? Correct. It is not related to the financial statements. Simple examples I gave you: provision here, ICS, and delay by management or attitude of the management. Thereafter, we people came to the last thing for yesterday, which was key audit matters. Key audit matters is a new standard which is covered by SA 701. It is only for listed companies or as required by any law or regulation. So they have to come out with a notification that apart from listed companies, it is also applicable to so and so companies. If they don't come out with any notification, then up till now by default it is only applicable to listed companies. Now talking about that, I hope realize the objective still remains the same as 706. It is again to bring transparency in the audit. Whatever the auditor feels are significant matters, key matters as per him, then that the auditor shall communicate it to nothing but the shareholders. Now how will the auditor think that the matter is significant? Auditor will think the matter is significant depending on certain factors. What factors? Factors like he will decide the ROMM. If the ROMM is high, then it becomes a key audit matter. Similarly, I hope realize whatever in auditor's professional judgment, auditor feels that it is nothing but key audit matter, that becomes a key audit matter. And some significant events or transactions during the year. So if there have been any significant events or transactions during the year, that also he will tell. So this gives rise to nothing but key audit matters. So you know what are these, what I wrote? These are nothing but the factors to decide what will be a key matter. All cools? Okay. Thereafter, ultimately important is key audit matters is not four things: substitute for disclosures, not a substitute for going concern, not a substitute for modified opinion, and not a separate opinion. They ask you this for 2 marks in the examination, correct, incorrect. But can you tell me that it is a substitute for what? Correct. It is actually a substitute for 2 paragraph 706. So ultimately, I hope if at all you are an auditor of a listed company, then for you, two standards are applicable: 701, 706. Now, if 701 is there, you are telling that it's a key matter, then that same thing you will not write in 706. You cannot emphasize on the same matter and give as a key audit matter. Either you give a key audit matter or you emphasize on it. I hope you followed. So what comes in 701 will not come in 706, either as emphasis or as other matters. Cools? Cools. Come on, let's begin with something new. What we will do, we'll do chapter 4, risk assessment and internal control. Curious, huh? ऐसे? Okay, listen. As far as your chapter number 4 is concerned, it is a big chapter compared to what we did yesterday. Auditor's report. This will go on and on, probably for 2 to 2.5 lectures. Today, if you just have a look in the heading, it is risk assessment and internal control. So there are two parts to it. One is risk assessment, other is internal control. Now, internal control, you people have definitely known a bit of it because you have heard many number of times me telling about internal control system. So there are two parts and we are going to go reverse. First, what we will do is nothing but internal control. Secondly, what we will do is risk assessment. Why? Because I came nothing but reverse on earth. That is the reason? No. It is because eventually I hope it is simpler to learn this ways. So first what we will learn is internal control and then what we will learn is risk assessment. Now, the scope of the chapter, if you have a look at internal control, we have basically this as scope. We have to learn what are the meaning and objectives of internal control, what are the inherent limitations of internal control, what are the internal control questionnaire, methods to evaluate internal control, benefits of evaluating internal control, internal audit and its objectives, applicability of internal audit, difference between internal and statutory auditor, and importance of ICS. Today, how much are we going to do? Today, we people are going to stop here. So today's agenda is basically, I hope it lies 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sheesh questions. Acha, as far as risk assessment is concerned, this is nothing but what is covered there. Risk assessment procedures, risk of material misstatement. This we have heard many number of times, ROMM. So now the definition of ROMM will come finally. And lastly, audit risk and its components. So this is nothing but the scope of the chapter. This is what we have to do. All cools? All cools. Acha, shall we start? We shall. You want to write seats? Writes it. You always want to write it. This will get asked in the exam for 10 marks. What is the scope? Oh, take a write. 2 minutes. Ganesh. So nicely it is written here. Look at it. It's a masterpiece. So rude. Yeah. Danya. Wait here. Wait here. Wait here. What the hell here? Shut up here. You had morning lecture. Yeah. Accounts. No. FM. FM is still going on. Not finished. Last lecture. Finished today only. Ah. Oh, farewell. Thanks for coming. Mm. It's raining very heavily here. Thunders and all. दिखाता हूँ बाद में. Danya. What 2 minutes? 2 minutes for writing this much, yeah? Why, yeah? Oh, man, definitely. मन तो करता है ना. Come on, yeah. Going, 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 gone. Now listen. Huh. Pay attention. Sure, Sweta, sure. Now, what we people first have to learn is nothing but what is internal control. Now you just have to pay attention properly. And what are its objectives? Now, it is not something new to you. I've been telling you this of about internal control from the very first lecture of auditing. Can I say in every company there are frauds and errors? Can you tell me who commits them? Management. Can you tell me whose primary responsibility also to reduce them? Management. But always remember, it is not the management alone. Along with management, it is also the responsibility of the top level management known as TCWG. What is TCWG? Those charged with governance. So can I say it is the primary responsibility of the management and the TCWG to reduce the frauds and errors, and that they will carry out how? That they will carry out by setting up a system. With system, the system which will control what? The frauds and errors. But the system is outside the organization or inside. So ultimately, can I say the system is internal, and therefore the name given to the system is internal control system. Acha, can you tell me designed by management? Okay. Implemented by management? Okay. Maintained by management? Okay. Checked by auditor? Correct. Whether the system is there or not, whether it's working or not, whether it's in effect or not, whether it's continuous or not. So everything is done by the management, checked by the auditor. Therefore, the audit is a dash and not a dash. Come on, yeah. The auditor is a watchdog and not a bloodhound. All okay? All okay. Now, things and answers. Huh? When you people talk about ICS, can you give me a few examples of ICS? CCTV cameras. You only remember CCTV cameras here. That is your biggest problem here. As a bloody you people have to watch some movie in that CCTV camera here. What is happening? Huh? Identity cards, biometrics, okay. Watchman, okay. That's like very layman, but then it's okay. Okay. Now, shut up. I'll tell you. Relax. I'll tell you. Basically, I hope CCTV cameras is fine. Identity cards is also fine. Biometrics is also fine. Apart from that, two A's are very important: approvals and authorizations. Now, when I say approval and authorization, what do you mean by it? Try to understand. In an organization, anybody cannot do any transaction. No. Only the people who are authorized can do the transaction. No. For a simple example, say there is something like a purchase transaction. Say purchase of say raw material. Can I say for that there is a person who is known as purchase manager? Only the purchase manager can order the purchases from the supplier. Can anybody else order? No. Because if anybody else orders, there may be a chance that there will be manipulation. So ultimately, I hope realize we people keep nothing but I hope as a particular person for a particular type of transaction. I am not telling that particular person may not be fraudulent. That is always the chance. But if you have more people doing it, chances of frauds will also increase. Acha. Similarly, say ultimately I want to sell any of the asset. Can I sell? No. If that was possible, I would have sold half of JKSC assets like this. No. So, so basically it is not there. Correct. Because you require authority. No. Only if you have the authority, authorization, only then you are able to do the transaction. Else I hope realize fraud will always happen. All cools? Acha. So basically I hope realize when I talk about nothing but internal control system, examples you remember CCTV cameras, identity cards, biometrics, apart from that approvals, authorization. Now, talking about internal control system, think and answer. Huh? Internal control system is an end or it is a process? Correct. Can I say it is not an end? It is a process. Can I say it should go on and on? If you people remember, this is very similar to planning. Come on here, try to link. If you people remember, planning is not a discrete phase. It is a continual process. It goes on and on. Similarly, internal control system, once you people set up, it is not that ultimately it's an end. No, you'll have to keep on maintaining it, updating it. So ultimately internal control system is also not an end. It is a process. It will go on and on. Perfect. Acha, have I told this? No. This is told by SA315. Who? SA315. So as per SA315, I hope as ICS is not an end. It is a process which is set up by the management and TCWG, designed by the management, implemented by the management, maintained by the management, but checked by the auditor. All cools. Now, what is the basic objective of ICS? Objective is very simple here. Can I say it is basically to safeguard everything in the organization? Basically, then what are the objectives of nothing but ICS? Objectives as such are very simple. Listen. Objectives include like, firstly, safeguarding of assets. Now, what do you mean by safeguarding of assets? Come on, yeah, try to understand. For a simple example, if you don't have this control system, can I say assets are in danger? Anybody can pick up the asset and go. For a simple example, ultimately, I hope there is a stock, okay, which is there in the godown. Now, say ultimately there is no control. There is no CCTV camera. There is no storekeeper. There is nothing. Then I hope I already know. Open invitation. I will come. Then ultimately I will go. I will take some stock and I will run away. Hello. You people are reacting in such a way as if I have done this so many number of times now. Huh? You think that I will do all this? Yeah. Huh? I just took stationery like that. Yeah. I did not take stock and all. Yeah. Stationery I took. But stationery is fine. Yeah. That, what is the problem? I love stationery. I love stationery. So ultimately that when I was working in PwC, no, after clearing chartered accountancy, the PwC, all that big fours, they have beautiful stationaries. They have all these files, folders, they have that writing pads and all. I just love stationaries. Whenever I go anywhere and I see stationery, stationery is mine. Yeah, somehow or the other I will take it. I will have nothing but the loophole in the internal control system, because it will not be very strong, because I know internal control system. I will see where the loophole is and I will nothing but take advantage and take away the stationery. But stationery is not that much of an asset here. It is a P&L expenditure. Anyways, it has to go to the P&L as a bad debt. So ultimately safeguarding of assets. Okay. Else I hope as employees like me, they will take it away, right? Acha. Rude. Apart from that, I hope realize internal control system also will have to ensure that all the transactions have been recorded properly, so that no transaction etc is omitted. So whether transactions have been properly recorded or not, books of accounts have been properly kept or not, that also I hope realize internal control system will take care. Apart from that, I hope realize internal control system is responsible for nothing but authorization. It is responsible for basically nothing but giving the approvals, that ultimately I hope the transaction should be done only by the people who are authorized and approved, so that ultimately there is a control, there is a check on all the transactions. And sometimes what happens is there is a difference between recorded and actuals. For a simple example, if I tell you that in the balance sheet of the company the stock was 1 lakh, but I hope in reality, which is actual, say ultimately the stock is only 70,000. Use common sense. Can I say there is a deficit of 30,000? Then ultimately, why is there a deficit of 30,000? Internal control system may help to find it out. That if there is a fraud, it will try to nothing but prevent it also. It will try to find out also. So when there is nothing but difference between recorded and actuals, basically I hope realize your internal control system helps to rectify it. I hope you followed. These are simple objectives here, nothing great. So what are the objectives? You can say safeguarding of assets, checking whether all the transactions have been properly recorded or not. So transactions also should be recorded properly. Books of accounts should be maintained properly. Then authorization and approvals. And apart from that, if there is a difference between what is recorded and actuals, then it helps to nothing but rectify. All cools? All cools. Come on, textbook. Risk assessment and internal control. Please comes. Page number 134. It begins on 132. Then the answer is on page 134 then. See. Internal control, point number 5. Firstly, the meaning and then the objectives. Meaning, if you just check, see, as per SA 315, look at the heading of SA 315, as if the entire essay is in the heading only. Identifying and assessing the risk of material misstatement through understanding the entity and its environment. Oh my gods. For this, you should get 2 marks. They say that the internal control may be defined as the process, say, which is designed, implemented, and maintained by the TCWG management and some other personnel, if any, to provide reasonable assurance about the achievement of entities' objectives with respect to reliability for financial reporting. What is financial reporting? Accounts. Effectiveness and efficiency of operations. Safeguarding of the assets, compliance with the applicable laws and regulations. Now, see, objective C. No, arre, wait, no. Why do you want to mark always? Yeah, why? Yeah, I'll give you time. No, yeah. Objectives check. Transactions are executed in accordance with the management's general or specific authorization. So transactions can be done. Executed means done. I hope relies only on authorization. Thereafter, transactions are promptly recorded at the correct amount, and the preparation is as per FRF. Okay, so transactions are recorded properly. Thereafter, assets are safeguarded from unauthorized access, use, or dispose. Acha, what is disposition? Sell. Correct. I hope realize, taking it away. Thereafter, the recorded assets are compared with the existing assets. Existing, I hope realize, actual. Okay. At reasonable intervals, an appropriate action is taken with respect to any difference. So it is nothing but recorded versus actuals. All cools? There is a way to remember. The way to remember is a star. See now. See, this is S, T, A, and R. See, it's a star. So simple, yeah. Don't talk to me, yeah. Don't look at me. Look at my hand. Talk to my hand. Huh. Oh, Big Boss has come. Gayatri, you're right. Come on. Huh. Mark it. Huh. Underline it. Don't write star, huh? If you did not, don't write now. Why are you writing? Why are you writing? Dash. Why are you writing? You liked it. See? Blame me. Huh. Why are you like this? Yeah? Why? Yeah? We are like this. Inherent limitation. Yeah. Obviously, it is to be written in the key chart. What the hell are you talking about? Yeah. You need to know this. Hello, what is Intel control? So, Rudia, it is defined as per SA 315 now. I told you it's a process designed, implemented, maintained by the TCWG and the management. Huh? Sardesh, not entirely though, because human touch will always be required. As much as you want technology to kick in, but humans will always be required. No, Ramya, all the big fours give the same pay only. Yeah. There is not something which is very different. Hardly what differs is 5 to 10,000 maybe. Not much of a difference. They have all the same packages only. For a newcomer, it was 6 lakhs per annum. Hmm. That's 50,000 a month. I told 6 lakhs per annum, not per month. Some people were like per month. Yeah. Some got so excited. They're like, oh, I'm joining Big Four. And suddenly that per per annum became per month became per annum. They're like, oh. Now let's see. Second thoughts. Some people are asking what is star full form. Hmm. It's okay. Thanks for coming. How will you write, yeah? In the key chart, how will you write? In the question, you write objectives of internal control, and thereafter STAR. This is safeguarding of assets. Then TA's transactions are recorded at correct amounts. So recorded correctly. A stands for authorization for every transaction. R stands for recorded versus actual, difference rectified. Like this you write. It's raining so heavily. Cannot see more than 100 meters away. दिखाओ बाहर दिखाओ. How is it raining? You want to see? Yeah. Shut up and write. Write this first. हाँ दिखाता हूँ यार. तू पहले लिखना है. बड़ा पंचा दे तुम. You're interested in all the damn things on earth apart from studying, no? You're like, it's okay. Study sometimes, yeah. Comes as a byproduct. Yeah, Vishal. Everything is now going like this only. That who was that? Earth. What was his name? Yesterday told no. I forgot. Who is that Earth? Yeah. Oh my God, Big Boss. Mukilan. Mukilan. Solid. Yeah, you are. The Earth. The Earth is not behaving properly. Why is it raining now? Yours. Hey, come on, yeah, Danya. Okay, marked it from here. Okay. Oh, now your meaning may be cloud. Yesterday it was earth. Now it is cloud. So it depends from situation to situation. Now it is raining, so it has become cloud. Aww. Okay. Cloudy. Now pay attention. Huh. Now it is cloud, it seems, yeah. Listen. The next question that we people have is an important question, comes in the examination for 6 to 8 marks. What is the question? Hear carefully. What are the inherent limitations of internal control? Now be very careful. Huh? Don't get confused in inherent limitations of audit and inherent limitations of internal control. These are different things. Previously in chapter number 1, we had done inherent limitations of audit. If you remember, for that there is a key. What key was there? Fact. I hope it is nature of financial reporting, nature of audit procedures, cost benefit analysis, and timeliness. So basically that was inherent limitations of audit. This is inherent limitations of internal control. Now, first question. When I say inherent, what do you mean by inherent? Avoidable or unavoidable? Unavoidable. It means, can I say inherent means inbuilt? Can I say they are always going to be there? Just like you people have so many limitations, they are not going. Why? Because they are inbuilt. So ultimately, I hope realize when I say they are inbuilt, they are basically inherent in nature, correct? You do whatever you want to, but you can never overcome them. So those are known as inherent. Okay. Now, because of these inherent limitations, think and answer. Your ICS will provide absolute assurance or reasonable. Correct. I hope guys it will never provide absolute assurance. It will only provide reasonable assurance. It means it is never going to check 100%. It will always be able to check only less than 100%. Why? Because of the inherent limitations. Now do you understand? Okay. Now, you people will have to think and tell me what can be the inherent limitations of internal control. Come on. Think and tell what can be the limitations of internal control. Don't see any answers, etc. Just think yourself. Give your mind nothing but some job after all and tell me what can be the limitations in internal control. Technical issues, okay. Maintenance cost, correct. Unauthorized access, okay. Unauthorized access basically happens in case of IT systems mainly. Loopholes, I'm asking for those loopholes only. Hacking, staff not well. What happened here? Correction, okay. Corruption, okay. With corruption spelling, oh my God. Trying to control everything ends up in no control. Since it is created by management, it can be cheated. In system, only people biased. Functioning them subject, weak ICS, leaking of information by staffs, disagreement on the part of employees, malpractices, human errors, can be manipulated, ill intentions of staff. Oh my God. See, negativity so much you can think. See, I asked you one answer of limitations and you are like bombarding it, yeah? That is how your mind is. See? Yeah, fault and judgment. Oh, fault and judgment. System downturn, disputes between staff, training cost. Staff won't like being monitored. That is true, huh? Staff won't like being monitored. Don't look at me. More employees need to be employed. More employees need to be employed. Okay. Misunderstanding. Okay. Done. Fair enough. Yeah. Not bad. Yeah. Major answers were nice. Yeah. Lack of freedom. Yeah. Lack of freedom. Lack of freedom, it seems. Yeah. Emotions. Emotions. Glitches. Glitches is nice. Emotions is dash. Emotions, it seems. Yeah. You're running internal control system on emotions. That is only left now. System can be influenced by management. Rahul, you're always right, Rahul. Yeah. Your name is only so nice. Uvan, complex processes. Okay. How can Rahul be wrong here like this? Complex processes. Okay, fair enough. Collusion among people. Hey, this collusion among people you have copied, huh? You have copied from the book, huh? Don't give me that now. Collusion never comes to a student's brain elsewhere. I'm telling you, I know the students' brains. Huh. Expensive. Correct. More procedure. The cloud has spoken. More procedure. Follow as instructed by management. Fair enough. Now listen, let me tell. Listen. Good answers, not bads. Listens. If you people appreciate whatever system you want to set up, you set up. There is no problem. But eventually the system has to be run by humans only. See, as much as technology also has a role to play, but eventually the system has to be run by humans only. No, system cannot run the system. Even if there is start and off button, but still that start and off button has to be done by humans only. No, computer will not do on its own. So eventually, can I say everything has to be run by the humans? But since you are a human, there is always a potential that you may make an error. So there is always a chance, can I say, of human error. So ultimately, can I say because of human error, there can always be nothing but limitation of internal control. Acha. Apart from that, use common sense. Say you have a security guard. Okay. Now you told that security guard, don't let anybody from outside come in the organization. Only the people who belongs to the organizations, you people let them in, else don't. So you have given instructions to him not to let anybody from outside come. Now, say ultimately I'm an outsider. Okay, so I'm roaming. I want to come. So ultimately I comes. Security guard stops. I said, okay, I want to see organizations. He's like, no. Do you have appointment letter? No. But I have something else. I give him a 500 rupee note. Now I give him a 500 rupee note. He is welcoming me. Are, where were you, sir? Come every day, no, sir. So he let me inside. Wait. Did he have the authority to stop me? Yes. Now, did he stop? No. Had he misused the authority? Yes, for his personal benefit. It means the person to whom you are giving an authority, can I say that person only can misuse the authority? Come on, yeah. So there is always misuse of authority. Are even the people whom you are giving authority to nothing but do transactions. For a simple example, there is purchase manager. You told purchase manager only to order purchases. Now, what if that purchase manager only is fraudulent? Then ultimately I hope realize the one who you have given the authority is only misusing it. Can happen? No. Come on. Next, who sets up the system? Management. Can I say management can easily manipulate the system? So there is always a chance of manipulations by management. How? Very simple, yeah. They will set up CCTV cameras everywhere apart from their cabin. Wow, why? Yeah, why? Why? Only we can do fraud. You cannot do fraud. Even they can do, no. But did they set up? No, because they only set up. So they manipulated the system and they set up. So there is always a chance of manipulations by management. All cools? Okay. Now think here, when you set up a system, can I say with the passage of time, the system also needs updation? Can I say if you don't update the system becomes outdated. It means there are high chances system will become obsolete. Do you agree? It means it may become outdated. You hear that? No. So clean your ears, no, sometime. So basically, so basically, whatever are the procedures which the system will now perform, if the system becomes outdated, can I say the procedures performed by the system will be adequate or inadequate? Inadequate. So there are high chances that the system will have inadequate procedures because the system will become outdated. All cools? All cools. Acha. Now, apart from that, when you talk about nothing but this system, this system is not applicable to all organizations. It is basically applicable to large organizations where they have nothing but the money and the manpower to have that system. If you talk about small organizations, do they have such a system in place? No. So we say that system obviously has limitations with respect to its applicability. And we say that it is not applicable to which organizations? To small organizations. I'll tell you why. See, you think like this now. Supposing there is a big organization. So there is purchase, there is sales, there are cash transactions. If you people appreciate big organization, will have people separately for them. This is for large organization. When you talk about small organization, they don't have enough money. Segregation of duty is not possible there. So basically only one person will be doing all purchase, sales, cash. So now that one person, did you segregate the duties? No, because it is a small organization. So their segregation becomes very difficult. So we say that internal control system is applicable only to large. It is not applicable to small, because in small segregation of duties don't happen. Here authorization has happened, but here it is not possible. All cools? All cools. Acha. Apart from that, if you people appreciate, to set up the system is free. Government will do. No. Can I say then ultimately to set up and maintain involves a huge cost. It takes a lot of money, expensive. Apart from that, there is always a chance of collusion among employees, which one person told me. And I came to know from where she told me. Now, what do you mean by collusion? Try to understand. Collusion is basically coming together for a destructive purpose, wrong purpose. Basically, simple example I'll give. Supposing if I tell you the system is very strict on the employees. Now, supposing say here the strictest of control is there. So we cannot work freely, no? Every time you are keeping an eye on us. So ultimately we are unable to, work freely. There is no freedom. So we people are not liking the way the situation is in the workplace. So then such employees, what they will do? They will come together and they will nothing but destroy the system, hack the system. Acha. Or sometimes what can happen is the employees from inside the organization will give the information to a professional hacker outside the organization and tell to that person, you hack the system from outside. We are giving you information. We are with you. So you are colluding with somebody outside also and you are destroying the system. You understand what I tells? So if there is nothing but too much control on the employees, they will not like it because there is no freedom. And since there is no freedom, there is always nothing but chances that collusion among employees may happen. All cools? All cools. Apart from that, what do you think? Yeah, think like this. CCTVs will be everywhere. No, no. Can I say there'll be some areas where it will not be there? You should be happy. So in that scenario, when I say in some areas CCTV is not there, it means, can I say your system definitely lacks coverage. It does not cover every area, luckily. In that scenario, since it does not cover, see, can I say there are blind spots? For a simple example, how did I take stationery? Correct. There has to be some blind spot. No. Else ultimately they would have caught me. No, you are taking so much stationery that ultimately our entire employee staff has not taken in so many number of months. And you are taking that in one day. So ultimately they would have caught me. But how can they not catch me? Because ultimately some areas, they lack coverage. They lack nothing but I hope realize that spot where ultimately you can keep a check. It means your system will keep a check on everything. No. So ultimately we people say that there is no control for such type of transactions, unusual transactions, because there'll be some areas which are basically left out. I hope you followed. Come on here, tell me one by one. First is there is always a chance of human error. Then misuse of authority. Correct. Next, manipulations by management. Next, inadequate procedures. With a change in time, if you don't change the system becomes outdated. Next, applicability. It is not applicable to small organizations because their segregation of duties is not possible because it's a small organization. They cannot afford it. Next, cost. It has a huge amount of cost for setup as well as maintenance. Thereafter, collusion among employees. Collusion is coming together with people inside or with people outside the entity for disrupting the system. And lastly, no control for all type of transactions, no control for unusual transactions. It lacks coverage. All cools? All cools. Now this comes in the examination for 6 to 8 marks. Yeah. Come on, yeah. Yeah. For every answer I should give. Huh. There is a key. The key is not that nonsensical. Okay, so yeah, shut up. Key is good now. Acha, you know, many number of years back, in fact, few number of years back, demonetization came, time pass. Huh? Now, why did it come here? For that black money thing, correct. So basically, can I say it was done so that to make India corruption free, which is never going to happen. Acha. And secondly, I hope realize they wanted to promote digitalization of transactions. So ultimately, they wanted that cash should be used less, so that everything is white in nature, black money goes away. So basically, for two reasons: cashless and corruption free. And who brought that in India? Modi ji. See, we don't know them. We don't know him only because he only came no at 8 p.m. and told 5,500 rupees and 1,000 rupees are no more legal tenders. Okay, as you say. So ultimately, now let us see. Okay, listen. Hey, Modi ji in. They're giving some respect. Prime Minister after all. Okay, Modi ji in making India. Oh, imagine O has an answer. O has applicability. See, so cool. Oh, wait, no. Corruption free. Second, see, cashless. Last one. Oops, nation. Together we are a nation. See, it's not that bad. It is nice, yeah. It's not that bad. You're so rude, yeah. Why na, yeah. Come on, tell me, yeah, tell me. Come on, tell me. Help Modi ji in making India a corruption-free cashless nation. See, it matches also. I'll tell you how. Help human error. Modi ji masses. See, Modi ji misuse of authority. See, now do you see? I'm telling you, man, it's a good key. See, making manipulations is okay. See, India. India always has inadequate procedures. See, it matches. See, but you know, and obviously our nation has no control. No, it's going on and on. It has already reached some 135 crores. So there is no control. No, so nation out of control. See, it is nice, yeah. Come on, right? Where is the answer? Wait, here is the answer. You have to write it entirely. Don't do it from the textbook. Do it from here. So you write the question and then write the answer. Comes in the examination for 6 to 8 marks. Important question. Here, internal control can provide only reasonable assurance, not absolute assurance, because of the inherent limitations. It's reading very heavily. I'll show you. Yeah, shut up now. Thereafter, everybody's show no. You come here to see rain or me? Rain. So don't look at me. Don't don't look at me. I'll talk to you, bus. No, just hear my voice now. It is coming from up. Akashwani is coming. Now hear to the Akashwani only. Yeah. So this is help. Then Modi ji in manipulation is making. I is India because India is inadequate. They're outdated. O is applicability. O corruption free, which is never going to happen. Cashless collusion and the nation because there is no control for the nation. How do you hear it? What type of ears are you have here? Vaccinate your ears also, yeah. They are unable to hear it. See, take one in the ear. Some are like your keys are there in our ears. Therefore, our ears have become deaf, hearing to those keys of yours. That is so cool and so rude. Come on, copy. You can see properly, yeah, answer, or I should do 1-1. 1-1. Yeah. So much mehnat I did, yeah. Hard works. Come on, copies. It is okay. It seems, yeah. So you to take screenshot only. You to not writings. Right? Yeah. Oh, so heavily. Yeah, it is raining. Yeah. Oh, you can hear. See, I'll show. You can see. See. You can see how it is raining. See, there is Mukilan. See, Mukilan is there. You saw Mukilan? Saw no. Mukilan, what are you doing? Yeah. Why are you raining so heavily today? Yeah, Mukilan. What's your problem? Yeah. We saw you everywhere. Yeah, Muki. 16th. Yeah. Yeah. Look how it is raining. Yeah. Hardly can see any building. Okay, Somu. Hey, come on, done. Yeah. Like, what do you feel? Yeah. In so much time, it will be done. Yeah. Just shut up now. Okay. Okay. We'll do one more question after this. That is internal control questionnaire. That also is to an extent a bit bigger. It comes in the exam for 8 to 10 marks entirely. After we do that question, we'll take break. After that, we'll do the next three questions. 3 and 3. Pre-break, post-break. Some are asking, sir, the content under the heading can be written in our own words. No, that's the problem. It is your own words. See, hey, your words. I mean, yeah, you can write. Come on, yaar. Modi ji happened. No, I came yesterday also. God knows what he was telling. I have to stop watching only. I'll just go tell you what you want. Thanks for coming. What difference is it going to make, anyways? धनेश वही काम है उनका भी. Hmm. Dania. Shall I? Okay, ma'am. प्रतीक्षा कीजिए. समझा. Hey, Dania. Like, shut up. Okay. Sure, सब कुछ नहीं बताया जाता. Collusion is basically coming together, Ray. Dania. Okay. Did you go and update the key charter? No, then go and update the key chart also. Huh? That key chart updation is necessary, Baba. Okay, Smriti. You update it like this, see. In the question you write down, inherent limitations of internal control. And thereafter key and answer at like this. Not necessary to leave a line, huh? I have just written so that ultimately it just does not become too clumsy. You write anyways, it's clumsy. I'm just अरे यार. Last point now, weight showings. Takes. Come on, yeah. Shall we do the next question? 8 to 10 marker. Content, bitches. Okay, now listen, no, pay attention. Listen. Next thing that we have is nothing but an internal control questionnaire. Oh, English questionnaire. It will take a while to write. Acha. Now, this comes in the examination normally for 8 to 10 marks. Homework is you practice the spelling of questionnaire for 10 times. Now, listen, it's very simple here. Although it is for 8 to 10 marks, and I wonder why it is for 8 to 10 marks. It is that simple. Come on, think and answer. What do you mean by a questionnaire? Correct. Can I say it is a list of questions prepared by the auditor, given to the management? Questions are asked with respect to the ICS to know whether it is efficient or whether it is inefficient. If it is efficient, can I say auditor will check less? When I say he will check less, can I say he will go for sampling? If it is inefficient, then he will check more. Then we say he will go for 100% checking. Wait, huh? This is just in theory. In real life, ICS is efficient, inefficient, there, not there. Auditor will always check less than 100% only. He will always do sampling only because there is a limitation of time. So although here in theory, I'm telling to you that obviously if it is inefficient, auditor may check 100%. But in reality, is he ever going to check 100%? No. All cools? Okay, so come on. What is a internal control questionnaire? It is a list of questions prepared by the auditor given to the management. Questions with respect to the ICS to know whether it is efficient or it is inefficient. If it is efficient, he will go for sampling. If it is inefficient, he will go for 100% checking. But whether to go for sampling or whether to go for 100% checking depends upon the ICS, whether it is efficient or inefficient, set up by the management, checked by the auditor by asking a number of questions, which is known as an ICQ. Now do you understand the meaning? So it is a list of questions. Acha. Now, why do you do this? Why are you sending a questionnaire to the management? Can I say it is because you people want to evaluate the ICS? When I say you have to evaluate, you want to make a judgment about the ICS, whether the ICS is effective or not. Because according to that, can I say my NTE of AP will change? What is NTE of AP? Nature, timing, extent of audit procedures. Obviously, if it is efficient, my procedures will be less. If it is inefficient, my procedures will be more. So depending upon the ICS, the auditor will decide NTE of AP. So why do you have ICQ? Very simple, to evaluate ICS. So can I say it is one of the methods to what? Evaluate ICS. All cools? Acha, doubt. When you have ICQ, you can ask questions on what? What contents will it be there? You can ask questions on anything of ICS. For a simple example, you can ask ICS for stock. You can ask ICS for purchases and sales. You can ask ICS for nothing but say cash transactions. Just to give you a simple example for stock. For a simple example, you can ask to the management, batao, how is your stock safeguarded? Then ultimately they may tell you, we have a storekeeper, we have CCTV cameras inside and outside the godown, we have a perpetual inventory system, which is a stock record. So any movement of the goods has to go through the stock record. So that is our ICS for stock. Management, batao, what is your ICS for purchase and sales? The management will tell, we have a purchase manager who is only authorized for purchase transactions. We have a sales manager who is only there for nothing but sales transactions and all the credit sales or cash sales which is done. So ultimately, I hope that we have nothing but segregation of duties, and therefore that is our ICS for the purpose of purchase and sales. Management, batao, what is our ICS for cash? We have only one person who is a trustworthy person for n number of years who is taking care of all the cash transactions. He is only the cashier. Any cash in or out has to go through him only. So ultimately that is their control system for cash transactions. Now do you understand? So basically you can ask questions with respect to anything: purchase, sales, debtors, creditors, cash, stock, etc. All cools? All cools. Now, when you talk about ICQ, what? ICQ. It will have some advantages and it will have some disadvantages. First we will see the advantages. Then we'll see the disadvantages. Come on. What advantages do you think of ICQ? If I send an ICQ, a love letter, management, answer, then ultimately what advantages will it have? Come on, tells, things. Things, yeah. You have brains, no. Oh, when I said that, people came up. They're like, okay, now I will answer. You're doubting us. Okay, save time, written record. Okay, something more. Helps in evaluation. Okay, more info. Condition of internal control, permanent record. Okay, recording is documentation. Fair enough. We may get some more say, correct. Make a better judgment of it. Fair enough. Auditor will be able to know whether the system is more reliable. By mistake, you have written Rochelle. Reliable, more consistent transactions. Okay. Good opinion. Verbal arguments can be avoided. Since verbal wants to be avoided, you are telling in writing. So it is like if you have a fight with somebody, you tell them, you want to fight? Right. I'll fight writing. Don't fight orally with me. Like that. That's so cool. And the fight will also get extended for so long. Horrible. Apart from that overall view of ICS. Fair enough. Listen, transactions genuine will be evident. Okay, enough of your brain using and brainstorming. Listen, firstly, can I say one of the advantages, it helps to identify about the ICS. So it helps to identify the weaknesses which are there in the ICS. See, you as an auditor, you are more interested in where the weaknesses of ICS lies. Because I hope you want to check ultimately what is the weak area, and that area you will check in more. For a simple example, there is no proper ICS for stock. So you will check stock more, no? Achha. Apart from that, if you people appreciate, it helps the auditor in planning. I hope it helps him to decide NT of AP, no? And obviously, it helps the auditor to decide what should be the extent of checking. Whether he should go for sampling or whether he should go for 100%. All cools? Come on. Disadvantages. Now your brain will run very fast. Come on, tells me. Disadvantages, yeah. Come on, yeah. Time consuming. See, wait. The only disadvantage that you know now, since standard 11 is bloody time consuming. And the only advantage that you know now is proper utilization of resources. This too is something which is, I hope, is inbuilt in you. Time consuming. Apart from that, bloody, you don't know anything. Correct. False information by management. Correct. Arey Baba, what if you are getting answers from the management, but the answers are incorrect? Ayyo, Papa. Can I say if the answers are incorrect, then the conclusion that you will make will be incorrect. Then the plan that you will draw is also incorrect. Then audit also will not happen properly. So then there are always a chance that you will get incorrect answers, just like I get from you most of the times. Acha. Apart from that, there is also a chance that answers may be incomplete. Supposing I hope some people try to answer, but they answer very incompletely. Now I hope can I say incomplete information is more dangerous than correct, wrong information. So ultimately I hope that incomplete information also I cannot make a judgment. Come on. Apart from that, things. Manipulations done, covered in answers. Come on. Some things. Come on. You can do it. Not a conclusive proof. Okay, no cooperation. Management may fail to reply. Oh, ignorance. Oh, can I say that is a forte of your life? Okay. Confidentiality disclosed. No, why will I disclose confidentiality? They have to give me information. How can I audit without information? Auditor might become lethargic and may not be able to further. Excuse me. Why he will become lethargic? Yeah, because of this weather. Then, yeah, because of that weather, you may become. That's so rude. Questionnaire can be poorly designed. Oh, design and all, huh? You have come to buy a questionnaire or a bloody shirt. Huh? Poorly designed and all. Sampling error. Okay. Sampling error. Okay. Enough. I've got it. I'll tell you. Listen. Who is asking questions? Auditor. To whom? Manager. What if certain area I forget to ask questions? What if I forgot to ask questions with respect to stock? Will the management tell like this, auditor, you forgot stock? We are telling. No. In fact, they don't want to tell whatever you are asking also. It means, can I tell like this? There are high chances that certain areas may be overlooked. What certain areas may be overlooked? What do I mean by overlooking? Overlooking means you are not asking questions only. Now, if you don't ask questions, are you going to get answers? No. See, there is a difference between first and second. In the first, question was there. Answer also was there. But answer was incomplete or incorrect. In the second one, question is only not there. Forget answer. I hope you followed. Okay. And lastly, it is not applicable again to small organizations. Arey Baba, if you people appreciate, when I did ICS, I hope as ICS has its applicability issues. No, it is not applicable to small. Now you're talking about ICQ. ICQ is to evaluate ICS only. Now supposing say I'm auditor of a small organization, okay, and I make an ICQ. I give you this ICQ. Come on, solve it. Arey dash, you will tell me dash, and you will tell, hey, we don't have ICS, and you are giving us ICQ. You're asking us questions of something that we don't have. You're making us what? Feel more bad? Then use common sense. Eventually, can I say this will not work for small organizations? So it is not applicable to small organizations. So 3 advantages, 3 disadvantages. ICQ 3. So weaknesses, planning, extent of checking, answers incorrect or incomplete. Some areas may be overlooked. That is, you are not asking questions only. Some people are not overlooking properly. And lastly, it is not applicable to small organizations. All cools? This comes in the exam for 10 marks. Yeah, you tell me if it is difficult. Yeah, this comes in exam for 10. Imagine they are trying to give you marks, but you are not taking. They are helping you. Oh no, there is no key. Yeah. Sorry for this 3 points. There is no key. Yeah. This thing you have to remember. No, yeah. Everything here key based. No, yeah. No, yeah. Come on, finish it. See, what is internal control questionnaire? What are contents? What are the advantages, disadvantages? So firstly, the meaning, set of questions, state of ICS. This question is not there in the textbook, 10 marks. Advantage, disadvantage. I have taken from the suggested answers of institute. Then there is contents of ICQ. Then there is advantages of ICQ. And then there are disadvantages of ICQ. Luckily, advantages has headings, disadvantages don't have headings. But that hardly matters because everything you are going to write in your own words, no? Say, अरे मैं तो ऐसे ही पूछ रहा था यार. अरे देखो विश्वास नहीं मेरे पे. वाइस वर्सा. हाँ, it's a very awe situation. But that will happen over time, Danish. It is not a big deal. Done, yeah. उधर हाँ हाँ done, go. Buildings are visible though. What show? What show? I come here to show this. Jobless. Come on, lose. I know, yeah, Gayatri, yeah. Done, yeah. Okay, we will mute you. Someone like, wait, yeah. See, you could hear it. It was not me who was making that noise, yeah. बारिश हाँ बारिश. बारिश हो बारिश हो. बाहर बैठे बात. बारिश बारिश सुना मैं सुना कोई बात. बारिश बारिश बराबर. पूरे कोयम्बतूर का पानी है उसमें. इतना बड़ा पोर्ट्रेट. It will take care of entire monsoon. Hey, done, yeah. Come on, yeah. Come on, finish advantage, disadvantage fast, yeah. Come on, yeah. 10 marks, yeah. Rishabh, yeah. क्या what to do रे. It's okay. Thanks so much. अरे यार प्रीति यार, अरे वेट नो, क्या वेट नो, कमिंग्स. Danya. Dance? Okay. You want to do one more question or we shall take breaks? If you want, then breaks I can give now. Later then knows. Okay. 11:27. We meet at 11:40 then. Okay. 11:40. Okay. on, come back here. Okay, now see, in your internal control, I told you basically this is nothing but the scope that we have to cover. Firstly, I hyperlize meaning and objectives. We are done. If you remember the objectives, I told you a key star. Thereafter, we have done inherent limitations of ICS. If you remember, this was the key on that demonetization, corruption free wala key. Correct. Thereafter, I hope we have done internal control questionnaire, advantages, disadvantages. If you remember, 3 advantages, 3 disadvantages. Now we come to again nothing but 3 really important questions. One is method to evaluate ICS. Other is the benefits of evaluating ICS. And the last one for the day will be internal audit and its objectives. But these two we are going to take up together because these two are related. So what we are first going to take up is nothing but methods to evaluate ICS. Now, if you just remember when I was doing internal control questionnaire, just have a look. I told you that it is one of the methods to evaluate ICS. Evaluate means to know about ICS, whether ICS is working properly or not. So this is not the only method. There are other methods also. So now we have to see those other methods. Listen carefully. Now, when I say methods to evaluate ICS, basically there are 4 methods. Which 4 methods? One by one. Firstly, narrative record. I'll first list them and then I'll explain one by one. Okay, they are simple as such. Secondly, checklist. Third one, which we already know, ICQ. And the fourth one is something known as a flowchart. So these are the 4 methods. Come on, which methods are there? Narrative record, checklist, ICQ, and a flowchart. Repeating, narrative record, checklist, ICQ, and a flowchart. Now, ICQ you already know. Can I say it is nothing but a list of questions given to the management with respect to the ICS to know whether it is efficient or whether it is inefficient. All cool? All cool. So we have to learn the other 3. First of which is narrative record. Now, as the name suggests, narrative record. Can I say auditor will have to make a record? So what he will do, auditor will basically go to the client's place and he will observe. What he will observe? ICS. So either me, the auditor, or I can send you also, the staff. Hello, I can send the assistant. So you people will go there, you will observe the ICS. Once you people observe the ICS, you will make a record of it. Once you people make a record of it, I hope it is basically like a narration. No? So then you narrate that record. And thereafter, once you narrate the record to yourself, you will come to know whether it is efficient or whether it is inefficient. Repeating, what is a narrative record? The client, the auditor or the staff will go to the client's place and they will observe the ICS. After they observe the ICS, they will make nothing but a record of it and then they will narrate that record. Once they narrate that record, obviously you will come to know reading that record, whether ultimately it is efficient or it is inefficient. You should have common sense. This is normally to be done for small organizations. Relatively smaller, not very large organizations. It is for a simple reason that if it is a very big organization, how much record you will make, no? So there comes a limitation. And therefore we people say narrative record is to be done for nothing but relatively small organizations. All cools? All cools. Acha. Next is checklist. Now what do you mean by checklist? As the name suggests, checklist. The auditor or the staff, they will already prepare a checklist. Checklist like, supposing I hyperlize authorization for purchases, authorization for sales, CCTV cameras inside, outside, then ultimately cashier for cash transactions. So they will make a checklist of what all should be there. Once they make a checklist, common sense, they will go to the client's place. They will observe the ICS. Thereafter, they already have the checklist. So then what they will do is they will put a tick or they will put a cross. Now, obviously, more the ticks, it means more efficient the ICS. More the crosses, more inefficient the ICS. That is known as a checklist. I hope you followed. Okay. Acha, next ICQ, which you already know. And the last is a flowchart. What is flowchart basically? Flowchart is basically, I hope, guys, it is like a diagram. I hope it is rather a graphical presentation of nothing but I hope the entire ICS. See, just like if you remember, see, this is my graphical representation of nothing but the entire auditor's report. See, this is like a flowchart, right? It flows from one place to another. So ultimately, you can just look here and your all auditor's report is done. Similarly, the auditor will make a flowchart of the entire ICS, whether purchases are authorized or not, sales are authorized or not, assets are safeguarded or not, laws and regulations are followed or not, transactions are authorized or not. So thereafter, he will have the entire diagrammatical format. And thereafter, looking at the diagrammatical format, auditor will make a conclusion whether ultimately ICS is efficient or it is inefficient. You understood what I told? Basically, you know what this gives? This gives a, if you understand, bird's eye view. What? It gives a bird's eye view. Because I hope as once you see the flow chart, I hope as from the top only you people easily come to know what is there and what is not there. So it gives a bird's eye view because birds see from the top, no? So when they see from the top, they can see everything at the bottom. So ultimately you can see everything in the ICS at the bottom. Like that. So how many are there? Come on, tells me. 4. Come on, tells me. 1. Narrative record. Next. Checklist. Next. ICQ. Last. Flowchart. What is a narrative record? Correct. I hope realize basically the auditor or his staff will go to the client's place, they will observe the ICS and they will make a record and they will narrate to themselves. That is known as a narrative record. It is basically, in other words, if you want to know, it is a description, yeah, nothing else. You have to describe how's the ICS. Okay. Acha. Thereafter, it is relatively for big organizations. No, relatively for smaller organizations. It means obviously ICS is applicable to large organizations. No, but I hope realize if there are too much large organizations, don't do narrative record. Out of this, say these 2 are large, but they are not that large as the first 3. Then for them, you can do narrative record. That is what I'm trying to tell. Acha. Thereafter, checklist. So auditor will basically, I hope, prepare a checklist or his staff will prepare. And thereafter, they will go and observe the ICS and obviously they will put distinctive ticks. Accordingly, I hope more the ticks, more the efficiency, more the crosses, more the inefficiency. ICQ list of, thereafter flowchart. Flowchart is a diagrammatical or a graphical format of nothing but I hope realize the ICS. This is the most concise way. Whatever is spelling here, concise, CISE. Now I hope that this is the most concise way of knowing the ICS. I hope realize this is the hardest way of knowing the ICS because you have to write a bit. So ultimately, I hope that is the hardest way. This is the most concise way, flowchart, because it gives a bird's eye view. Is this okay? Okay, now come on, help me. Doubt is, why do you want to evaluate ICS? Why? Can I say you want to evaluate ICS because it will have some benefits? Else why will you do it? So can I say there'll be benefits of evaluating ICS? Now you think and tell me, once you people know about ICS, what benefits can it have? Correct. You will know the NT of audit procedures. Very good. So can I say it will help in planning? It will come, correct. You will know the efficiency of ICS. So you will know whether that ICS is functioning properly or not. Come on here, something more. Think, yeah. Okay, see. Okay. Something more. Less procedures, not really. Affect the opinion, no. Correct. To know whether procedure should be performed more or less. Okay. Saves auditors time. This time saving, time consuming is so irritating. I see that time to time and then my time gets wasted. PAP to be performed in case ICS is inefficient. Okay. Easy to plan audit. Okay. Whether any frauds are there or not. Correct. You will come to know whether any frauds are there or not in that particular area. Fair enough. Reduction in frauds and errors. Okay. Rather, you will know ICS, you will come to know where the frauds and errors can exist more. For a simple example, if I tell you that ICS is weak in case of stock, then obviously I hope I will come to know that in case of stock, the ICS is weak. So that becomes my significant audit area. So I will then check stock more. Okay. See, basically what can be the benefits? Enough. Basically, I hope realize you people evaluate ICS because then you will come to know whether the ICS is actually set up properly by the management or not, whether the management have actually discharged their function of setting up ICS properly or not, whether ultimately the frauds and errors exist and if they exist in what area. So it helps to identify the significant audit areas, especially where the ICS is weak. Apart from that, I hope it helps the auditor to decide whether the assets are safeguarded or not. It helps the auditor also to decide what should be the extent of procedures that he has to perform. And apart from that, I hope it helps the auditor to give nothing but worthwhile suggestions to the management about nothing but the weak ICS. What? Telling against. I hope if you evaluate the ICS, you will come to know whether management has discharged their function properly or not, whether management has set up it properly or not. Thereafter, you will come to know whether the weaknesses is there in the ICS. So you will come to know where the frauds and errors actually exist. So you will have to then identify that particular audit area. So it helps you to identify that audit area where it is weak. Thereafter, it helps you to know whether assets are safeguarded or not. Then it helps you to give nothing but suggestions to the management about the weak ICS. Come on, Sia. I hope you followed. Okay. Textbook come. Two important questions really that we have. Page number, I don't know. Yeah. Page number, you'll have to tell me. See. Methods to evaluate internal control. Point number 12. Page number you tells. Page numbers 143, as per some assumed to be reliable sources. See, first is narrative record, then is a checklist, then is internal control questionnaire and a flowchart. If you have a look, firstly, narrative record is an exhaustive description of the system. So I hope it is more suited for small businesses. Checklist, I hope basically it is a series of instructions which a member of the auditing staff, that is say for example you must basically follow. So you go there, you have the instructions. Thereafter, you people put the tick in front of the instruction. For a simple example, here the instructions will be written, no, here, that whether this is there or not, check. Thereafter, obviously, then here there will be space for you to put that tick or cross, no. So in front of this space, you people put the tick or the cross. Accordingly, we people decide. Internal control questionnaire, you already know, yeah, it's a set of questions. Flowchart, ultimately, I hope is the most concise way. It is basically, I hope is a graphical presentation of nothing but the entire ICS. All cools? Come on. Achha, by the way, this comes in the examination normally for 4 marks. They ask you any one also for 4 marks. Up till now, they have not asked all of them together. They have asked nothing but write a short note on narrative record or short note on flowchart, like that. That comes individually for 4 marks. If this entirely will come together, may come for nothing but 8 marks. 2 marks each. It is always like that. No, you take in wholesale, the rate reduces. No, like that. Marks reduces. Same. Economics is applied everywhere. I told you, when I say small entity, I mean out of the large entities, the small entity. Supposing I have 4 large companies, but I hope realize these 2 are not as large as this one. Then ultimately you are talking about, for this you can have a narrative record like that. See, wherever headings are there, you are a bit on the safer side, because you write the heading, then you can write the description in your own words a bit. But whenever the headings are not there, that is where the major problems of the students lie. Because then obviously what you have to do is you have to learn the entire answer only and the points, and then you have to write. Headings can obviously save you, but inside also the matter should be in your own words, but the own words also should be decent. No, at least it should have nothing but I hope like some relevance, some matching to whatever is the main thing. Like you write exhaustive description. Now these words I hope these are important. If you write like everything in your own words, you make a record, go there, client place, make a record, like that will not work. So ultimately some words which are really important, that too you have to write only. Like see, it's a graphical presentation, it's the most concise way. So all these words should come. Other than that, your own words come, that's okay, but it should have some relevance, some matching. That is what I'm trying to tell. Students basically lose marks in all theory subjects for that reason only, because their language is very poor, very very poor. Yeah, they, I mean, when it comes to writing and giving, now they give very very poor answers. In fact, I'm not only talking about inter CA level, I'm even talking about final CA level. Once ultimately one final CA student, he gave me a paper to check. I did not even check after the first answer. I was like, take your paper, check yourself, or give it to anybody else, dare you come to me the next time. It was that bad. Imagine a final CA student writing a paper like that. Inter CA, the what to expect only. So basically, I hope your language skills should be good enough. Your communication skills should be good enough. How you people write it, or how you people can manipulate it or maneuver it. Yeah, I mean, what else? Done, yeah. Now come above that. See, benefits of evaluating internal control. It is just like here, just above that. 5 marks again. See, what are the benefits? Whether frauds and errors are likely to be located, whether adequate system is there or not, how adequately management has discharged its function, safeguarding of the assets, whether the books of accounts are reliable or not, how much examination or checking is required to do, whether appropriate, what will be the procedure that I should perform, what are the areas where control is weak, and what are the suggestions to improve. And I'm talking to myself. Fair enough. So rude, yeah. See, now problems are these type of answers. If you check these type of answers, see, now there is no heading. Now, since there is no heading, I hope you have no other option but to learn the entire answer. Sometimes I hope here what happens. Here a student is in a state that, okay, we have the heading, now we will write something or the other. So ultimately, I hope still you can write something. Here, if you don't know the answer, you cannot write anything, because I hope here there is no headings at all. So such type of answers which are there now, where there are many number of points and no headings, you will have to be more focused on such type of questions. This has been asked many times for 5 marks. What are the benefits of evaluating ICS? Not a difficult chapter, yeah. It's just a big chapter. All the answers are just big. If you are just observing properly, now the answers are comparatively bigger as compared to I hope realize other questions. If you see benefits of evaluating ICS, there are so many points. Similarly, I hope when I did internal control questionnaire, it was a big answer. It had advantages, it had disadvantages, it had the meaning, it had the contents. Similarly, limitations, inherent limitations of ICS, that also was a big answer. Help Modi ji in making, that also was 6 to 8 marks. The only thing about this chapter is the answers are not difficult, but the answers are big enough. The only lucky part to an extent is that for various answers there are keys. So as such, I hope realize it may help you to an extent, but obviously learning is yeah, that is not something which ultimately I can do for you, unfortunately, or rather fortunately. I never know. I mean, if I give an examination again, I don't know whether I'll clear it or not. Auditing etc still okay. FM etc auditing etc is fine, but then apart from that, if you give me a paper again, something like EIS and everything comes in front of me, oh my god, I'll rather skip. It is, oh my god, thanks for coming. DT, yeah. DT though you already know, yeah, my situation, how it was, yeah, 40 marks. I still owe it to her. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 130 M goal, yeah, yeah. You're bloody interested in that 130 M goal, yeah. Huh? I was also afraid of EIS, definitely, because I did not understand it only. I was like, what are you trying to tell? Yeah, some things are better ones. Lakshay, लिखा लगता है, some things are better ones. Not bad, yeah. How, yeah, am I teaching audit or life lessons? Yeah, make a book, yeah. Yeah, Rahul's life lessons, yeah. Make like that. We'll make. There'll be more notes in that rather than auditing book. uh, EIS is used in practical life. Practical life, what is basically used in chartered accountant's office is something like Tally. Tally, the software. You are not aware about Tally, you know, no, yeah. So ultimately, I hope, yeah, some things like that are helpful, where ultimately in CA's office, you have to apply that. Apart from that, I mean, your current generation, I mean, you people are very well versed with how to use technology as such here, although more in a negative way, but you still know it, right? Okay, done, yeah. Okay, come on, wait. Hey, listen. Tell me first how many methods are there. Come on, tell me first. 4. Come on, masters. Narrative record, checklist, ICQ, and flowchart. Narrative record is basically making a description about nothing but the observation that you made about ICS. It is relatively beneficial for small organizations, small businesses. Checklist, ultimately, I hope realize there will be nothing but a checklist which the auditor staff or the auditor has to follow. And thereafter, against the space to every instruction, you will have to put ticks. According to the ticks, the auditor will make a decision whether it is efficient or inefficient. ICQ, thereafter, flowchart. Flowchart is a diagrammatical or a graphical format of nothing but the presentation of the ICS. It basically is the most concise way to know about the ICS. It basically gives you a bird's eye view about the entire ICS, whether it is there or not. Acha, what are the benefits of evaluating ICS? Tell me 5 at least. See, I'm telling you, no, those type of answers, no, you look at it, they're like, what the hell are you talking about? Are you what brains you have? Yeah, your brain is working like LeFo, yeah. You know LeFo, no. Yeah, you have applied that in real life, yeah. LeFo, we just did. It's the last thing, and it's the first thing that you have forgotten. Rude. Yeah, tell accounts professor we know LeFo, and tell how also you applied LeFo in life. We learned that and we forgot that. That is what is LeFo. Yeah, learn first, forget first. Are tell ya. See, can I say it helps? No, hey, I know, huh? It helps you to know whether the frauds and errors exist. It helps to know whether the ICS is adequate or not. It helps to know whether management have discharged the function or not. It helps to know whether the assets are safeguarded or not. It helps to give the suggestions to the management. It helps to know the books of accounts are reliable or not. It helps to identify the areas where the ICS is weak. All cools? Huh. Dash. Come, let us do the last one for the day then, which is an important one. Write down question. Asha, this too, obviously, we have done it from the textbook. Huh? Wherever textbook is required, I'll do it from the textbook. Wherever it is not required, I'll give you nothing but the answers, just as I gave you for them. Internal audit also is like that only. Next question, which is there is internal audit, internal, and its objectives. Now listen, oi, you'll have to really pay attention to this. Again, it is important examination question asked many number of times for 8 marks. Again, big question. Now, when you people talk about internal audit, we have heard it somewhere. First place where you people have heard. Anybody? The first time. Come on. Kushi, tell no. Company audit. Perfect. Chapter 1, no. Company audit, yes. Company law, so rude. Company law, it seems, yeah. I told that you're telling company law. Huh? I told a real second bencher told you that basically where was that internal audit? Yeah, that's so rude. Yeah. If you people remember, firstly, I told you that when I did section 144, if you remember section 144 of the Companies Act 2013, Arey Baba, that 9 services are there. No, that auditor should not give specialized services. How will you remember 9? 1 plus 4 plus 4. See, now nonsense has come in the head. If you remember, Imandari. See, this you remember, dash. The problem is you will not remember the answer to this. That is why I tell you, look at the key chart. Now, if you people remember, I stands for internal audit. So ultimately, can the statutory auditor give internal audit service? No. So is internal auditor and statutory auditor the same? No. Should there be a difference between both of them? Yes. So if you are doing internal audit for one organization, can you do statutory audit of that same organization? No. But if I'm doing internal audit of one organization, can I do statutory audit of another organization? Yes. Are you following? So basically, I hope realize when I tell internal auditor and statutory auditor, both of them are not same. Both of them are different. Why? The objectives are also different. What is the main objective of the statutory auditor? Correct. Can I say it is to form and express an opinion on the financial statements, whether they are showing a true and fair view or not? Correct. Now, then what is the objective of internal audit? Understand what is internal audit? Internal audit is basically a check on ICS. Now, I said basically a check on ICS, not only a check on ICS. There are supporting functions also. What supporting functions? Try to understand. Internal auditor is the one who has to be now responsible to check whether books of accounts and records have been properly maintained or not. And can I say books of accounts and records have to be maintained as per FRF? Come on here, all these you now know. It is not something new to you. So ultimately, I hope as it is internal auditors duty to check whether books of accounts and records have been maintained properly or not. It is the internal auditor now who has to check whether all the assets are safeguarded or not. So can I say safeguarding of assets? At least up till now, you people must have realized in all the answers of nothing but internal control, safeguarding of assets is always there. Just like I hope realize in all the answers of audit strategy, resources were always there. Similarly, I hope realize here, safeguarding of assets is always there. Apart from that, he is the one responsible to set up all the laws and regulations in the organization. He is the one who is responsible to do all the authorization and give the approval. See, if you people appreciate, these are very similar to nothing but objectives of ICS. If you remember today, we started with objectives of ICS star. Hello. Where did it go? Yeah. See, I hope safeguarding of assets, transactions are recorded or not, authorizations are recorded or not. Only thing is, instead of this recorded versus actual, I have written nothing but laws and regulations. Apart from that, it's the same thing. Check no. So can I say whatever are the objectives of ICS, who has to take care now? Internal auditor. So it is internal auditor's duty to check the ICS and see whether all the objectives are achieved or not. Now, it means it is not only checking ICS, it is checking supporting functions also of the ICS. Doubt. Think, huh? Will there be any qualification for the statutory auditor? Statutory auditor? Yes. What is the qualification? Chartered accountant. Achha, normal chartered accountant or practicing? Practicing, correct. So it means, can I say, if I have a COP and I'm practicing in India, can I become statutory auditor? Yes. Okay. Then what is the qualification for the internal auditor? Will there be any qualification? No. There is no specific qualification for the internal auditor. I hope as anybody can become an internal auditor. You also can become an internal auditor who is listening to me and looking at me for once. I hope as you also can become an internal auditor. Somebody should appoint you. Nobody will. So ultimately, so because you're still learning, no, that's why that's why I told you. You think I told it otherwise, that you lack competence or skills or you're in something? I told like no. So yeah, so basically, someone like so rude, yeah. So basically, I hope as if somebody wants to appoint you, can they appoint you also? Yes, they can. Tell them to ruin their life. So ultimately, even you can be appointed. Okay. So there is no specific qualification. However, having said that, when you people talk about internal auditors, at least who are appointed in real life are chartered accountants. Important to understand whether or not in practice. So even if they are practicing or they are non-practicing, just even if you are a chartered accountant, can I become internal auditor? Yes. Important, chartered accountant is not the eligibility for internal auditor. There is no specific eligibility. Anybody can become. However, what I'm trying to imply is, since the word auditor is associated with that word internal, I hope guys who are looked upon are chartered accountants. and therefore at least who are appointed are chartered accountants, whether or not in practice. So supposing say you dash, say you are a chartered accountant. Okay, now you are not holding a COP. Think and answer. Can you do internal audit? Yes. Can you do statutory audit? No, because for statutory audit you require nothing but a COP. I hope you followed. But I again repeat, a chartered accountancy is not the eligibility for internal audit. But in real life, at least who are appointed are chartered accountants as internal auditors. But supposing say I'm a chartered accountant practicing, think and answer. Can I become internal auditor? Yes. Acha, I can also do then statutory audit of the company, no? I can check the financial statements also. No, correct. One more thing, think and answer. When you talk about statutory auditor, can he be the employee of the company? No. Can I say employee of the company is disqualified? Section 141(3). Can I say an officer or the employee of the company is disqualified from being appointed as an auditor? So you are qualified or disqualified? Disqualified. Okay. Now think. Internal auditor. Can he be the employee of the company? Yes. Yes. Important. He may or he may not. It means that depends upon whatever are the terms and conditions that he enters with the management. Management will appoint the internal auditor. So basically, I hope that there are two options. One, say ultimately I'm management, you are internal auditor. So I gave you an offer, come and join us. You take nothing but I hope is monthly salary from us. You take monthly salary, you become our employee, you come on our payroll, finished. Every month I will give you nothing but salary. Acha. Secondly, oh, you don't want to become employee? No problem. You come, do internal audit for us, finish your job, give us the report. After that, we will pay you professional fees, get lost. Thanks for coming. So ultimately two options. He may or may not be the employee. All cools? All cools. Important, he may or may not, whereas statutory auditor can never be the employee. There is no option. There I hope as you are never ever going to become the employee. Okay. Now, having told about this internal audit function, have I defined this function? No. It is defined by SA 610. SA 610 is on internal audit. Correct. There are actually now 600 series. I'll tell you the series. Wait. 600, 610, and 620. Why, if there is any series that you see, you feel it is nonsense here? I have not even started. I'm just telling you what it is. And see, suddenly you are expecting, okay, some nonsense will come from Rahul now. This is what you expect from me, nonsense every time. This is what I teach. This is what you're telling. It's okay. Dry tears. Listen, firstly, 600 is on other auditors. It means can one auditor use the help of another auditor? Yes. If you remember, hello, we had done that in work performed by others. Assistants, other auditors, experts. 610, statutory auditor can use the work of internal auditor. And 620, he can use the work of an expert. If you remember, I hope is valuer, etc. Expert. So basically, I hope there are three. Which three? Other auditors, internal auditors, and expert. Now, how to remember? Obviously. Whatever remains is expert. Like that only. It is not that bad, yeah. You are rude, okay? You know that you can remember like this, still you will not accept the fact. You know, acceptance is the key to life. Write it down. Write it down in my life lessons. Ignorance will ruin your life. Acceptance is the key to life. Write down, bloody. Some people are writing that also with the red pen, it seems. Pay attention now. If you remember like this, we had done before, yeah, 700, if you remember. 700, 705, 706. 700, opinion. 705, modify. 706, 2 paras. How to remember? 5, 2 paras. Similarly, expert. Luckily for you, 2 essays out of this are not applicable to you. This one is not applicable. This one is not applicable. Because as per institute's notification, that is nothing but cancelled. Yeah. So ultimately, but still I told you because ultimately it was matching. No, So just to tell, I did. It was nice. Okay. At least you remember that I know. How will it have remembered that I without that O? Or nahi to kya yaar. Last thing. Listen. In fact, second last thing. Listen. Now, who is going to check the ICS? Can I say internal auditor? By the way, is it applicable to all the companies? No. It is applicable to certain companies as per section 138, big companies only. That I will tell you later, next time when we meet. Huh. So is it the end of the lecture? No, 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 no. It's still left. Hello. But yes, basically I hope it is applicable only to certain companies. Now, assume that internal audit is applicable. Okay. Then what the internal auditor will do? Can I say internal auditor, he will check the ICS? Can I say once he checks the ICS and all the supporting functions, can I say he will report to the management? Now, when he reports to the management, will he report orally? No, in writing, in the format of a letter, which is known as letter of weaknesses and suggestions. Lows. What? Lows. So what is lows? I have some feeling here in life. Yeah. Why are you like this? So lows. What is lows? Letter of weaknesses and suggestions. So first you have to identify the weaknesses. So for you, obviously it will take a lifetime. Secondly, you have to give suggestions for what? To overcome the weaknesses. So ultimately, I hope realize the internal auditor, he will identify weaknesses, give the suggestions to overcome the weaknesses. And this he will give in the format of a letter to the management, which is known as lows. So internal auditor will give a lows to the management. What is lows? Correct. Letter of weaknesses. So see, what was objective of statutory? To give an opinion. What is the objective of IA? Correct. To give a loss to the management. So can I say obviously the objectives are different? Come on, yeah. Later on, we are going to do one question, which is the difference between both also. Internal and statutory auditor. If you just check in the scope, what we have written, wait. See, if you check, see here, difference between internal and statutory auditor, that we are going to do. But before that, obviously what we are doing now is internal audit and its objectives. Later when we will meet, we will do applicability of internal audit, then we will do the difference between internal and statutory auditor, then we will do importance of ICS. All cools? All cools. Acha, now listen. Back again. Up and down is causing time. Acha. Now when you people talk about nothing but internal audit has certain objectives. Obviously the objectives are very similar to objectives of ICS. Because obviously internal audit is checking ICS, so main objectives are repeated here also. But then what are the objectives? We'll see one by one. Focus properly. First thing, there should be a proper authority for purchase and sale of an asset. What do you mean by this? Very simple. Can I say anybody in an organization can purchase or sell an asset? If that was possible, I told you I would have sold half. Then ultimately I hope that is not possible. So internal auditor has to check. He has to be the one who will authorize only a certain person to ultimately purchase or sell any of the asset. Next, internal auditor has to check that all the liabilities which are incurred by the company are incurred for legitimate activities. Oh, English, legitimate. What do you mean by legitimate? Legal business purpose. It should not be for personal purpose. So whatever liabilities are incurred, I hope that they should be for an appropriate business purpose, not for any other purpose. All cool? Okay. Apart from that, I hope you realize he is the one who is responsible to check whether all the assets are safeguarded or not. So can I say there will be safeguarding of assets? Without it, it will not be complete only. Apart from that, he has to check whether all the policies and practices are consistently followed or not. Can I say very manageable? Yeah. Okay. Can I say his main aim, or you can say his main objective? Can I say is to review the ICS and eventually he has to give the lows to nothing but the management. Come on, yeah. Okay. When you do internal audit acts as a channel. You understand channel? Channel basically you can say it is either a medium or you can say it's a way. For what? For giving new ideas. Wait, who is giving new ideas to whom? See, internal auditor is giving suggestions, no? So he's giving his ideas, no? So he's giving his ideas to whom? Management. So basically internal audit is a channel, a medium, wherein ultimately internal auditor can give new ideas to the management. Now do you understand? Asha, who set up the ICS? Management. Who is now checking? Internal auditor. Obviously, statutory auditor has to check. That function is different. Now I'm talking only about internal audit. So internal auditor has to check now. Now use common sense. So internal auditor is investigating the ICS of the management, no? Whether management ultimately have set up the ICS properly or not. Therefore, we say that internal audit is a special investigation for the management of whether their ICS is working properly or not. You understood what I told? Huh. Apart from that, can I say he has to also check whether books of accounts are reliable or not? So what he has to check is whether the books of accounts, whether they are accurate, whether the books of accounts, whether they are authentic. What do you mean by authentic? Real transactions. They are proper. So obviously he has to check accuracy and authenticity of what? Books of accounts. Wait, what is the objective of ICS after all? To increase frauds and errors, no? Mad. You want to increase frauds and errors? I told you at the very beginning, if you check here, see, I hope ICS objective is to decrease frauds and errors. So can I say it is to detect and prevent frauds and errors? So basically the internal auditor will check what? That ICS is helping in this duty of detection and prevention of what? Frauds and errors. So these are your objectives of internal audit. Come on, let us understand one by one. It is for 8 marks here. Why do you feel they will give you for 8 marks some 1 2 points here? So many. Shut up. Pay attention. First you answer. Come on, tell me. First, I hope realize correct. Internal auditor will check whether there is a proper authority for purchase and sale of asset. Then he will check whether all the liabilities are incurred for legitimate activities. Legitimate means legal business purpose. Next, what he will also do is nothing but safeguarding of all the assets, whether assets are properly safeguarded or not. Next, ultimately, I hope realize he will check whether all the policies and procedures are properly followed or not. Thereafter, the main aim or the objective is to review the ICS and give the laws to the management. What is laws? Letter of weaknesses and suggestions. Next, the main correct. The internal audit helps to provide a channel, or you can say a medium or a way for nothing but new ideas which are given to the management, how to make the ICS better. Next, obviously management sets up the ICS, but internal auditor is checking. So it acts as a special investigation for the management. Then internal auditor obviously has to also check whether all the books of accounts are authentic and they are accurate. And he has to check whether ICS is doing its main objective of detection and prevention of frauds and errors. Now, for 8 marks, I hope realize you will have to write the meaning first. Thereafter, you will have to write nothing but the objectives then. Objectives don't have heading. They have direct statements only. Acha, one more thing. Meaning you will write as per SA 610. Can I say internal audit is a function where ultimately the internal auditor has to review the ICS among other things. And what are the other things? Other things are books of accounts, safeguarding of assets, laws and regulations, authorization, approvals. Acha, qualification that I will tell you, you don't have to write in meaning the qualification, but you should know there is no specific qualification. Anybody can become an internal auditor, even you sitting. But I hope is normally whenever internal auditors are appointed, chartered accountants are the ones who are appointed, whether or not in practice. It means your practicing certificate is not a requirement. Thereafter, ultimately, it is covered by SA 610. The main objective is to give the laws to the management, and thereafter the other objectives of internal audit. All cools? All cools. Acha. Now, some people have become so smart now. They're like, key will come because you have left space here, no? So obviously key will come. So now they have become smart. They're like, why have you left space? See, this is I hope checklist. See, I wrote a certain instruction. Then I hope I will put something here against the space for instruction. That is a checklist. See, there's no room for creativity. What has happened to you? Why are you like this? Okay, Baba, I'll give you a key. Now, this key is not nonsensical. It is one of the really nice keys which I have, at least personally, for a reason that once I put this key on the screen now, you may tend to feel hungry. See, anyways, you people are hungry, sleepy, dash, always. But yeah, you will tend to feel more hungry now, okay? Once I put this key on the screen, yeah. So behave yourselves, okay? I'm telling, wait. Now, some are like, we are already hungry. I told you now, you're always hungry. I'm telling you, I knows you. Now listen. All. Love. Yeah, this should be there. Yeah. Without that, what is life? Yeah. Come on, take out a life lesson book. Acha, listen, Ray. If you remember, love once more had come before. If you remember, love to dil se. That love to dil se, that audit inquiry, 6 matters. Don't forget, that love to dil se. Acha, all love what? Listen, aloo. You know what is aloo? No, potato, yeah. Exactly, potato. Okay, but aloo not on its own, yeah. Aloo ka what, yeah? Paratha. Now see what I am telling. Once you have aloo paratha, aloo paratha on its own you don't enjoy. Along with aloo paratha, you require something along with it. You know, only then you enjoy an aloo paratha. Tell me, what do you want along with aloo paratha? Yeah? Tell me. Chutney. Dahi and all. Chana, chana. First time ever I've heard. Ketchup. Ketchup is nice. I love ketchup. Without ketchup, I cannot do. I said, hey, hey. Ketchup is required. Pickle. Pickle is achar. Yeah. Enough. You think that ultimately I'm here to take your order and you are bloody asking me get this, get that, chutney, ketchup, sauce and all. Rude. Whatever is in the menu, I will give you. Shut up. Along with paratha, I hope you always want some achar. Can I say achar is pickle? Along with that, I hope you always require nothing but some chutney. But along with the aloo paratha, I hope you always want some sauce. But I hope the paratha is incomplete without having some tair, dahi. Then ultimately, I hope you require some dahi, curd. But I hope you want along with that. So it should be and. This is okay. And is okay. It's not that bad. Yeah. Or nahi to kya, it is one of the nice that I have. Yeah. Come on. Tell me. Tell loudly first. Come on. All love, aloo, paratha, achar, chutney, sauce, and dahi. Correct. Once you know this, you people get nothing but two things. One, hunger. Second, the answer. All cools? Come on. Acha, see, by the way, what stands for what? Let me tell you that also, else you will blame me. How answer? Acha, all stands for authority for assets. Love stands for see, this is a matching concept. Yeah, love is liability only. No, see, everything matching. And for some people, to contingent. They are not sure. Acha, now when you talk about alu na stands for assets, but that is not the main word. Main word is safeguarding, but key was so alu. I mean, who else paratha would have I made? S paratha. So it is better alu is paratha is fair enough. Acha, P stands for policies and practices. A stands for aim. Chutney stands for channel. Chutney channel, like that you remember. Okay. Now sauce is very special. It is very dear to me as well. Okay. Thereafter, thereafter, and stands for accuracy and authenticity, and D stands for detection and prevention of frauds and errors. As simple as that. All cools? All cools. Okay. Where is the answer? Here is the answer. See, internal audit, what are its objectives? Firstly, the meaning, if you can see SA610, which is nothing but circled. I hope realize it is an appraisal activity which is established or provided as a service. When I say it is provided as a service, I hope realize you are not an employee. Okay. And when it is established, it means you are an employee now. So you may or may not be the employee. That is the meaning. Thereafter, its function include among other things to check internal control. So other things you already know now, books of accounts, safeguarding of assets, like that. You don't have to write that. This is only how you have to write. Then after reviewing the ICS, the internal auditor submits a LOS to the management, letter of weaknesses and suggestions. Thereafter, we have objectives. Objectives, firstly, all authority for assets, love, liability for legitimate activities, legal business purpose. Thereafter, ALU, but the main word I hope realize is not assets, it is safeguarding. But I hope realize ALU ka what? ALU ka paratha. So paratha is for practices and policies. Then achar is nothing but pickle. You require some spice in life after all. Thereafter, ultimately, I hope realize some chutney. I hope realize tenga chutney, any other type of chutney also which you like. Yeah, I know, right? Thereafter, I hope realize this is for sauce. Yeah, some people when I go to south, they told sambara also. I don't know how you have sambara with paratha, but if you so wish to have, you can have that also leftover sambara. Thereafter, ultimately, I hope you realize you want dahi along with it. Since you want along with it, we have nothing but and. It's as simple as that then. All cools? All yours. Come on, finish it. It's nice, yeah. Tenga chutney. Yeah. Then takali chutney. Yeah, I know. What do you think? Yeah. Some Tamil I know, majorly with respect to food only. What is that, yeah, man? I have never heard something like that. Three chutneys they taught me, huh? I'm not getting it. Tenga chutney, takali chutney, one more was there. There is tomato chutney is takali, right? What is then there is what is peanut called, yeah? Tenga chutney, kara chutney, no, yeah. Pudina chutney, no, yeah. Pudina, I know. No. Kadala chutney, no, yeah. Tenga chutney, takali chutney, one more they told, yeah. Not getting it. Where kadalai? Maybe like that. What is where kadalai, yeah? See, I told na. I was telling you peanut chutney, I'm forgetting. See? That is what I do. I teach them audit, they teach me something like this. हाँ तो होने देना. Where in the world am I even bothered? Yeah, it's okay. Anybody looks at this lecture, they'll be like, now you're viewing what? Now you're viewing like a food channel, something. Sometimes I hope as you're viewing like, I know. Yesterday it was viewing something else. Today it is viewing something else. Why don't you view a lecture for once? I know. It's okay, no, yeah. Man, you can have that also if you like sattu paratha that you are telling. Your wish. The only thing is you remember the key. I don't care whichever paratha you have. Yeah, whatever you like with S, you can have, provided it you remember it. No, I just told you whatever with S you like and you can remember. I mean, here I did not specify anything thereafter. Yeah, why you have brains like this? Yeah, or they are like that only. Don't blame me for it. Yeah, what have I done? So rude. Me? I'm responsible. Yeah. Why? Why? Sumaya, you can do that. Sumaya paratha. Very nice. I have not told you anything. Yeah, I just told whatever you like from S. Yeah. Chumma, you're blaming me. Yeah. Timetable is not yet out. Yeah. No, now this chapter does not have keys. That's it. After that, there is what applicability, what key is there. Then we have distinguish and importance. Oops. Danya, your job now is to shut up. Key. Okay, Smriti. Why spellings are like that? Yeah, Smriti, Thy, rather than Ti. Why you all have fancy words and spellings and names? Yeah, very fancy. Somebody was Earth became a cloud today. I mean, there was drastic change. Drastic. I mean, it was okay if Earth would have become Mars. I mean, it is simple for nothing but to skip planets, but to skip entire meaning of it. I know. I told why you all have like this. They are telling parents. It is like so cool, so honest. Like tell parents. Yeah, yeah. And that is an inherent limitation. That is inherent limitation of life. Write down in the book. Write down bloody. You remember this? No, this is more than enough. Nicely, she told parents. That was so cool. Dania, why? Yeah, what were you doing? Yeah, till now, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, why? You're still on point two. When will you go ahead in life? Oh, you are stuck on love. People get stuck too much. No offense. Yeah. The- Love is only in note, not in life. Shut up and write. You all have become mad or you all are like this only? You all are like this only. ये हो गया तेरा? नहीं ना, फिर बैठेगी। हाँ, और फिर बोलेगी अरे रुकना यार, बाकी है। सोमू, डनिया डनिया। Learn the answers also properly, huh, please. It should not be there that sir gave keys and only keys you remember. I'm doing it so that your job becomes simpler. That's why the key chart is there. See, that key chart is not something which you are doing that ultimately later on you can sell on Amazon. Basic- Some people are making the key chart as if ultimately it is something which is pictorial and they're going to sell as if it is their painting of some sorts. Basically, you're making the key chart so that you can refer it over and over again. So that I hope realize you get a very good idea of the key, the answer, and more importantly, the question. And that key chart is to be referred. Try to refer it nothing but once at least. You people are such that you will post it on Amazon and you only will buy. Yeah, yeah. You can do that also. Ah, Vishal definitely can do that. Huh? 50% at least my share. Yeah. 50%. Hey, Dania. Somo. Somo in full form today. Hmm? Yes, yes, Gayatri. Surely. Let them finish, then I'll show you for sure. Wait, yeah, hurry. Don't be in a hurry. Dania. See, internal auditor, if he is an employee, obviously there are independence issues, but then anyways he is lesser independent as compared to the statutory auditor. When you compare the independence level of both of them, internal auditor obviously has to report to the management, right? So obviously there the independence level is comparatively lower as compared to the independence level of the statutory auditor. You cannot compare both of their independence level anyways. So even if he is the employee, that's fine, because he is working for the company only. He is not working in his own separate identity. So basically, even if he is an employee or not an employee, I hope realize eventually he is going to submit the report to the management only. He is not going to submit the report to the shareholders. So to an extent, obviously there'll be biasness, but then that's fine, because anyway, statutory audit report is the main one. Come on, you're all cools. Okay. You updated key charts. In the key chart, you write like this, no? That's fine. Okay. Come to the textbook. In the textbook now, see there was, wait, this limitations of internal control, point 6, that you write down, refer notebook. Yes, Nikhil, anyways, not that worthy also of manipulating that. See, from this, there are certain questions which you refer from the notebook and certain questions which you do it from the textbook. Whatever from the textbook, we have already marked, like objectives and meaning of this. So that we are already doing. Acha, apart from that now, for that internal control, what I want you all to do is, see, this is internal audit. Point 10. Have a look at the meaning which is there. It is audit of internal control designed implemented by the management and TCWG of the entity. Achha. Now what I want you all to read is this part. This part. Read this. Eligibility. Don't read the applicability. That we are going to do the next time. Read the eligibility part. Done? Trust me, if you are paying attention, you'll understand. That I hope is either a chartered accountant or a cost accountant or such other profession as decided by the board. But I hope there is no specific qualification at all. The internal auditor may or may not be an employee. All cools? All cools. Acha. Apart from that, whatever is there now, see, there is one more standard SA 610 that I was talking about, internal audit, using the work of internal auditor. This standard we have to understand entirely, but that will happen later. Because standard on auditing, we are anyways doing it later, not now. But will happen. Apart from that, benefits of evaluation of internal control, done. Apart from that, methods of evaluating internal control, done. Thereafter, this test of controls, if you see now, this we have already done. You know where? When I did audit procedures, test of details, test of controls. You remember compliance procedures? Test of controls is that only. So you can come and you can write here compliance procedures. They are obviously performed by whom? By auditor. Who else will do it? To obtain what? To obtain audit evidence. About what? About effectiveness of the design of accounting and internal control systems. Thereafter, operation of internal controls only. Thereafter, the auditor considers how they were applied, whether they are consistent or not, and by whom they were applied. Madam, what has happened to you here? Oh, you just wanted to talk to me. Okay. Come on, yeah, done, yeah. Acha. This examination in depth, etc. We have a separate question on that. So that we will do later. Apart from this is information technology, which is there. This is IT related. We are going to do but later, since it is IT related and you know too much about it. Next is all materiality, etc. That's fine. That we'll see later. Today for us, this much is more than enough. Wait, where have we reached in our scope? See, what all is left out? Where is it? Where is it? Comes. See, meaning objective done, inherent limitations done, methods to evaluate ICS done, benefits of evaluating ICS done. These two are basically related. Internal audit and its objectives done. So next time when we meet, we have to start with applicability of internal audit. All cools? All cools. Go enjoy your lunch. Have a good day, whatever it means. I'll see you the next times. Yeah, enjoy. 10 minutes. No, he cannot be the statutory and internal auditor both, na. That is what I told you here also. Yeah, where were you? When I did internal audit, what did I tell? Supposing if you are holding a COP, can you do statutory audit and internal audit both? No, either you can do statutory or you can do internal. Where were you? Yeah. Oh, you're writing life lessons.